Kochi. A unique mix of traditions and modernization has been historically favored by travelers, tourists, and artists. The backwaters, the lush green countryside, the smell of spices and fish curry, the cobbled streets, the ferries and fishing nets have fantasized thinkers and filmmakers not only from within the state but from outside as well. In 1998, Ismail Merchant shot his colonial-era film Cotton Mary in Kochi. Cotton Mary, starring Madhur Jaffrey and Greta Sachi, became the first international production to be shot in the city. Sujit Sircar shot sections of Madras Cafe in Kochi, and so did S.S. Rajamouli for the famous Shivlingam scene with Prabhas. The Athirapalli Falls that we watch in Bahubali were also used by another veteran filmmaker Mani Ratnam in Guru. The list continues. But Kochi, as captured by Malayalam directors, is a story in itself, making the city a character of its own in so many films. We did not have access to all these films due to lack of subtitles for few and a print for some others. But nevertheless, we are here today with an exciting list of films that captures the essence of Kochi like hardly any other. Hope you like our list and do let us know your recommendations so that we have more films to check out and watch Kochi through the cinematic lens. At number 5 on our list is the empowering underdog story Uruthi, starring Navya Nair and Vinayakan, and directed by V.K. Prakash. The film is a visual treat right from the start. The protagonist Radhamani, portrayed by an excellent Navya, and her family live in a small isolated island which is portrayed in contrast to the Kochi skyline, reminding one of the odds against which Radhamani has to fight. The small island and the city with its imposing skyscrapers strike you as the classic David versus Goliath metaphor, as we have mentioned in more detail in our review of the film. This also represents the central conflict of the film, with someone having limited resources at their disposal taking on the big bad world which is out to get you at every opportunity. The Kochi skyline and the bustling streets make you appreciate the magnanimity of what Radhamani is up against in sublime fashion. At number 4 in our list is Operation Java, directed by Tarun Murthy. Operation Java is a crime thriller, but at the same time is so much more than that. The city comes into view through multiple cases in episodic fashion handled by the Kochi-based cybercrimes unit of the local police. The unemployment of the youth, the plight of temporary workers, and the overall vibe of present-day Keralites comes across beautifully in Operation Java, which merges real-life cybercrime with brilliant real narrative. Kochi also comes into light through the multiple characters we observe in the cybercrime office. The aggressive jerk officer, the kind-hearted supervisors, the enthusiasm of the youth, and of course the common men who visit the station with varied complications. And then Operation Java takes you to the underbelly of the city, be it through the piracy of Premam or the more graver MMS crimes. A powerful film about a city where the power structure does not necessarily justify merit and hard work like the rest of the world. At number 3 on our list is the Kerala State Film Award winner Ananya Rasulam, starring Fahad Fasil and Andrea Jeremiah, directed by Rajiv Ravi. The story of Anna and Rasul is mostly bereft of dialogues during the courtship phase. It's like we silently observe two people whom the rest of the world chooses not interesting enough to pay attention to. With the backdrop of economic struggle of the middle-class Keralite, their love blossoms on the bustling streets and the ferries without any conversation. The film is set against the backdrop of Fort Kochi and Vaipin, which beautifully captures two lonely souls in love in the busy city. The stolen glances and smiles are a reprise for the couple who otherwise have struggles to deal with in their lives. Kochi sets the tone of their love by merely being itself. A city too busy to pay attention to you, a city which is a dichotomy of emotions and survival. And as we mentioned one Rajiv Ravi film based at Kochi, we have to mention another at the same go. Kamattipadam, starring Dulquer Salmaan and Vinayakan, is a hard-hitting film on the land-grabbing mafia in Fort Kochi and how the slums fade out from city's texture. And within the violence around Kamattipadam is a beautiful story of friendship, much like the pristine love story of Ananya Rasulam amongst the communal tension. Ravi captures these alternate shades of Kochi in his lyrical storytelling that thrives on exquisite visuals. At number 2, we have a masterful retelling of Godard's timeless classic, Breathless, in the form of Mayanadhi, starring Tovino Thomas and Aishwarya Lakshmi, directed by Ashik Abu and written by Shyam Pushkaran. How is it a modern retelling of Breathless, you ask? Check out our analysis of Mayanadhi, link is in the description. Now coming back to the theme of the city. Mayanadhi beautifully captures the serene late-night quiet of Kochi with two estranged lovers walking through the night with flyovers and empty streets to accompany them. Once again, they do not talk much. It's like their love and angst for themselves gets expressed through the city night. Perhaps they themselves resemble the day and night, always accompanying each other but never together. Mayanadhi is a unique experience which suggests how corrosive love can be and at the same time how essential and unpartable it is in each of our lives. Much like the way cities feature in our society, taking away parts of us each day and then offering us with something else that charms and surprises. Aishwarya Lakshmi's Appu portrays this divided spirit in an outstanding way. A spirit that not only marks a character, but of an entire generation stuck between emotional legacy of the past and aggressive goals of the present. A turmoil which eventually takes away the love from our lives, takes away Mathan. Mayanadhi is love, and Mayanadhi is this divided spirit of Kochi, one of our all-time favorite films that we cannot get over. Before we reveal our top pick for movies around Kochi, let's have some special mentions as always. About 40 kilometers from Kochi lies a place called Angamali. Well, do we have to state more of what film we are talking about? Yes, it's Lijo Jose Pelliceri's Angamali Diaries, a film we couldn't have missed talking about Kochi. Where have you seen a more organic representation of love for food intertwined with the city the food comes from and the characters that savor them? Even the dialogues compare food with relationships and breakups. And then there's these absolutely amazing sequences of progressions, fights that break out in bars, and the single long shot with a hell of a climax. And finally, when we watch Pepe migrated to a concrete-laden, mostly greyish Dubai, it highlights what's missing from his life: the color, energy, and vibe of Angamali. Our second special mention is John Abraham's Amma Aryan, a milestone of Indian cinema. Well, Amma Aryan deserves a long separate discussion, as we have done with editor Beena Paul, and is not only about Kochi, but the way a gathering crowd walks through many towns and cities from North Kerala to Kochi to tell the mother of a young Naxalite that her son is dead makes Kochi a character in itself. At Kochi, the mother is sitting at St. Francis Church, one that houses the gravestone of Vasco da Gama. Finally, it's time to reveal our top pick. Any guesses? It is Kumbalangi Nights, with a multi-star cast directed by Madhu Narayanan. A complex film told with childlike ease, riding on excellent music, acting and cinematography. What also makes the film stand out is the beautiful portrayal of Kumbalangi, the first eco-friendly tourist village in Kerala. It is a little beauty with its backwaters, Chinese fishing nets, lakes, ponds and paddy fields. Now there are so many films that have great locations for shoot, but what stands out for Kumbalangi Night is how it uses these beautiful places inside the narrative and defines the connection between the multiple characters. Love blooms between Bobby and Baby Mall, taking tourists for sightseeing in Kumbalangi. They go for shopping on the local market, fight by the backwaters, and find shelter in each other within the shades of the island. The water is blooming with sea sparkles. Why don't you take her out and show it to her? Bobby asks his brother, Bonnie, indicating the magical glow in the waters. Something that eventually leads to the chemistry between Bonnie and Naila. And then there's Fahad as the alpha male Shammi and Shobeen as the beta male unsure of himself, who turn the same backgrounds to give different turns and textures. A breakthrough film for Indian cinema that deals with subaltern life so genuinely, all the while capturing Kochi at its best. That is all from us today. Please write in the comment section any other movies which we could have included. Also, like, share and subscribe to us.